Hello everybody and welcome to GRC's Season 13 Round 7 here at Autopolis, Japan. Haha. We've just moved forward into the qualifying session for what will be the first of 3 rounds of 15 laps of high octane action here around this circuit, which I feel is a little identical twin to the old Fiji circuit, just with a couple of extra corners shindigged in. We've got a nice 23 strong field currently at the moment going into the qualifying session, and it's all pretty much to play for as we get into the final couple of rounds on this Season 13 Championship. Very close in both divisions even. Could be both decisions. Everything could be decision-tastic because, of course, we're going to be hitting the climactic races now. Just watching Reino Room for Team Estonia rounding the final chicane. A lot of people struggling to stay within the confines of the circuit through that one. Thankfully Reino doing so as he starts off a lap around this Autopolis circuit. We used it a few seasons ago, we've not visited it recently though, however, and lots of people giving this quite a bit of praise actually. This circuit does seem to be producing once again quite tight grids. Vast majority of everyone in practice within 1.5 seconds top to bottom. Just 1 or 2 stragglers falling off the end there, and you can see various streaks of tyres lines from before. Very much leads one corner into the next around this circuit based in Japan, and as you can see, very Fuji-esque. Everything long and winding, lots of 180 degree turns, so long sweeper, and that's probably why actually the lap times are really quite tight, because you're not forced particularly into big braking areas. It's very much about just feathering the throttle round some of these corners and just knowing exactly when it is that you put the foot down. Exactly what Reino does, just about keeps vaguely within the confines of the circuit. Across the line he goes, and he'll pop up our benchmark time as a first man across, a 1:14.643. He'll be quite pleased with that one as he comes down the very long straight down to turn 1 for his in lap. As over 10 minutes in this qualifying session, we've lost 3 nearly already as the Bass pops into second, some 8 tenths off the pace. Paul Joseph slops in third, 1.3 down on our pole man. And there's a team core man of Dave Robertson coming over the final curves much more gingerly than some of the other people have done. And let's see what he does. He doesn't choose to run right the way out to the outside line, and that pops him into third, just a tenth ahead, or half a tenth ahead of Joseph, and Stuart Fleming, his teammate, a 1:16.0. I don't think he'll be particularly unimpressed with that, because he's just 1/10 off his teammate, but Paul Joseph slots in between. Such is the closeness that we've got around this circuit. That's Kevin Buddy for Williamson GP. Rounds the mid-sector. Ooh, quite a heavy lock-up into one of the more deciding turns and a wide exit. That could well pay him a price, and as you can see just how unsettled the car is around this circuit. It's not really one where throwing it in pays you back, as Titus Buselis goes into second for Intrepid Kart. And there again, Kevin Buddy, his driving style I don't think suited to the smooth curbs that go, or curves, sorry, that go round this circuit, but I'll soon be told if I'm right or wrong judging by the time. No, 4th position, 1.2 seconds practically off the pace. Big old gap from the top 2 all the way back to the rest of the field currently at the moment. It's Reino Room, Titus Vaselis, Bass, Kevin Buddy and Dave Robertson, your top 5, as Hans-Peter Mead for Online Motorsports pops over the line to start his hot lap. Got 5 kilos of weight added onto him. I can imagine the weight being a little bit tricky to deal with around some of these more elongated corners. So he locks up slightly into turn 1, and that's the grass and the gravel. Oh dear, and Peter Mead in the Lexi will really struggle as Rightus Reigns for Intrepid Kart, making his debut, slots into 7th. Ooh, once again that car just looking a little bit tail happy. A little mini lock up there into one of the many indistinguishable corners. And it's all top of this circuit. And the long left-hander popping up onto the curb, and that's going to spit him out again as he runs right the way out. Doesn't appear to have affected him nearly as much as what it did on the exit of turn 1. But yes, this has not gone to plan for the Lexus of Hans Peter Mead, and that's certainly not gone into plan as he dives in way too deep into the final turn. Over the curbs he goes. Cameron Brewster slots in 9. Hans Peter Mead somehow still gets 4th position despite an off-track excursion. That could be a case of what may have been there for Hans Peter Mead, because that was a interesting attempt, not in always the best of ways. As the Muru brothers are out and about for TTFR at the moment. About the only 2 on a hot lap currently. Got Reinu in 13th currently at the moment, popping round. That car looking decidedly more stuck to the decidedly more stuck to the tarmac than the one that we just seen of Online Motorsports. But Reinu, I believe, has got a little bit more weight. Yes, he has. He's got 11 kilograms. Brother Randu and teammate Randu has only got 6. Out over the line comes Reinu. What can he do with this? Randu's popped in 2nd. Reinu only gets 4th. So sibling rivalry will continue there, no doubt. So here's Martin Palm up on the first couple. That's a bit of a dodgy exit over the final chicane. No, that's not the most straightest of lines that you want to take. Steele pops into provisional pole, 1:14.452, 0.191 seconds clear of Reino Room for Team Estonia. That'll do for Martin Palm. Very much needs to get back on top of things after a difficult last round out, where he lost the lead of the Division 1 Championship to Borna Spoljaric. He'll be trying everything that he can to try and get that one back. The last few filtered through there. Thomas Ineos goes 3rd for Art Kart as we're watching James Kirk for the 6th Axis Racing. Rounding some of the middle corners. That car not travelling some of the inside curbs round that corner and running right the way out wide. Actually quite brave from Mr. Kirk, but that looking decidedly more together. Oh, not in the middle of that corner though, but so it's difficult to choose exactly where you're going to break out for that chicane as the Art Kart of Lucas Gebrielauskas goes 8th. James Kirk pops in 11, 1.2 off the pace. A real cluster of cars around the 1 second off the pace mark. As Andreas Stankiewicz comes out of the last corner to start his hot lap for Torrent Motorsports Osiris. Someone else just popped in there. Woodrow Bacalo went 7th for Torrent Motorsport Mobile, so that will do nicely for him. 6/10 off the pace. Stankiewicz, impressive outings last time, although I didn't always heed him the best of results. 12 kilograms of weight has the Eastern European driver. Let's see what he's up to. Little puffs of smoke from the rear tyres. Grip is certainly paramount around this Autopolis circuit. So he's just hitting the cambers nicely. Now we'll do 19 of the 23 drivers have already set their time. It's just Stankiewicz, Spoljaric, Dixon and Ross left to go. Out onto the miniature back straight. The clock hit 0. Miles Dixon will not actually get to set a time, so I don't know what's happened to Cookie Monster Racing, so that won't help him at all. Stanky Vicious, nice and clean out of the final turn though. Only P8, 7/10 down. You can see James Ross just coming out behind there in 23 for TTF, crosses the line, he goes 13th. Oh, Spoljaric then the last man, and that's very deep into the final chicane for Spoljaric as he comes out of the final. Little kink. What can you do for Toronto Motorsport Sim and Skins? It looked rough the split second I saw of it, and that's paid him only 9th position. That's a fair gaggle of cars between himself and Martin Palm. So Martin Palm it is then that claims pole position for round 1 of 3 here this evening for Toronto Motorsport Sim and Skins. Reino Room will be second for Team Estonia. Thomas Aniuas third for Art Kart, then Randu Muru, Titus Baselis, Reinu Muru, Ilja Bacalo, Andreas Stankiewicz, Borna Spoljaric, as you just saw, and Lucas Gabrielaskas for Art Kart rounding out the top 10. That will do quite nicely for Palm as he tries to riposte himself back up front on this 19 corner Autopolis circuit. Or if you're Japanese, Otoporisu. I do not lie. And already the cutting is going nuts. Borna Spoljaric saying that the top 2 times will be protested by me after the race. I don't like the cutting. This will be very interesting to see what goes on there. The penalty weights then, as it stands. Division 1 drivers, Borna Spoljaric has got 43 kilos against Martin Palm's 32. Bracalo 26, Vierok, who's not here, 25. Reino Room 19, Stankiewicz 12, Reinu Muru 11 kilos. Carl Williams isn't here, is he? Randy Muru's got 6, Hans-Peter Mead 5, and Bass 3. The Division 2 drivers, Paul Joseph 39, Cameron Brewster 37, Lee McLaughlin 26, Dave Robertson 24, Stuart Fleming 18. Miles Dixon's got 9, as has James Kirk, and James Ross has got 4. Andrew Murray saying he crashed on the warm-up lap. That's never a good way to go, that must be said, around this qualifying circuit. Remember, you can get interactive with us. We're in the chat room where Kamikaze, our mainstayer, is with us, chatting away. He asks aloud, actually, do the Murus share the same room of their house for their sim racing activities? Be very interested to know that, actually. I suppose you could half put each other off. So it'd be interesting. I have seen some interesting sim racing rigs, actually, especially around the endurance side of things, where people have actually lined up their computers side by side. That must be quite nuts to deal with, because I'd be too busy half looking in other people's mirrors, just to, or like screens, sorry, just to see exactly what they're up to. Probably get myself a wee bit distracted. Never a good thing. So yep, don't forget you can get interactive with the chat room itself. You can also tweet me at Tutorialman or at Esmelhuish. Simon Melhuish, as ever, is always on cameras and is adminning away. More hands than Medusa has snakes for hair. What have I been up to in the last week or so? I'm in the Little Big Planet karting beta. Painfully slow, the karts, I will say. Very, very interesting concept. Potentially it could be an absolutely fantastic game if you like your fun karting, hair let downing. But I do find that the karts do drive slowly. And everyone's putting score bubbles in all of their races, and they have no impact on anything whatsoever, and that slightly concerns me and confuses me. Aside from that, I've just been trying to get back into NASCAR 2011. Sadly, the online element is very broken. So you can't really have a decent battle, because if everyone's busy lagging out while you're racing around an oval, possibly the worst scenario you can ever have, lag on an oval, instant crash. So, as ever, the racing format, 3 miniature races, each one with 15 laps attached to them. Very quick circuit round here, as you see. We're in the 114s, 115s. A bit more fuel on it, maybe a bit slower. They're going to be real sprinters. Of course, this race will be decided by the grid. Grid 2 for race 2 will be decided by the order of this race, and round 3 will have the old reversey from random number generator. I like to throw a little fly in the ointment. The Drivers' Championship, Borna Spogliaric currently has a 18-point advantage over Martin Palm, after Palm having a less than stellar run last time out. Bracalo way back in third, a further 40 points-ish behind. And Rainer Rum, Rainer Muru, Hans-Peter Meady, Haber-Bass, Stanky Vicious, Randy Muru and Kyril Aziz, who's not here today, in 10th position, and he may well have that dethroned by Thomas Ineos, who's sitting pretty in 11. Division 2 stand-ins, Paul Joseph has a 34-point advantage over Cameron Brewster, after Brewster didn't have the most stellar of outings last time out. Dave Robertson very much on his own in third, ahead of Stuart Fleming, who's been quickly caught by Lee McLaughlin, actually. Just 11 points between those two, and the pendulum's really swung. James Kirk is in 6th position, ahead of James Ross, then Mark Vouger, and who's not here today, Tyrone Frith, will be joining us later, and Paul Gardner, who is towards the back end of the field. Rounds out our top 10 there. Got to be careful, because Miles Dixon, with a couple of good results recently, is slowly clawing up that one.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
We're just getting ourselves ready on the old gridaroonie. Everyone appears to have got out quite nicely. 4 Lexi here today against the rest of the BMWs, as Martin Palm leads us round on the formation lap for Torrent Motorsport Simmons Skins. Alongside him will be Reino Rum for Team Estonia. Third will be the art cart of Thomas Ineos. Highest I think he's been on the grid for a very long time. Randy Muro, 4th for TTFR. Titus Pacellis, 5th for Intrepid Kart Technology. Intrepid bashing down into turn 1. Reino Muro, TTFR in 6th. Ultra Bracalo, 7th for Torrent Motorsport Mobile. 8th, Stanky Vicious for Torrent Motorsport Osiris. And Simmons Skins of the Torrent Motorsport variety is 9th for Borna Spogliaric. So a nice collection of different colours of the same livery there. Art Kart's 10th with Lucas Gebrselassie. Gebrselassie. He was busy in the old Olympics, wasn't he? Haber-Bass 11 for Union Motorsports. Top Lexus. Hans-Peter Meady 12th for Online Motorsport, also in a Lexus. Lee McLaughlin 13th, top 6th Axis Racing, with dice variety of that. James Ross 14th for TTF. James Kirk 15, the 6th Axis Racing. 16 Kevin Buddy for Williamson GP. And someone has gone off. I think someone's just tapped the wall there, not sure who it is. I think it was Fleming. We'll get it all sorted out anyway. But Kevin Buddy 16, Dave Robertson 17, Team Core 18, Paul Joseph, Union Motorsport. Intrepid Karts, Ritus Reigns making his debut for Intrepid in 20th. Stuart Fleming 21, Brewster 22nd, Gardner is 22nd, Miles Dixon is 23rd, and our final popper-upper on the grid for Cookie Monster Racing. Plenty of smoke out on the grid there as everyone's trying to get themselves back into position. One of the core drivers not quite sorted out. I can see actually Renault Room busy locking up his tyres to try and get some heat into them. They're all in place now. Here come the lights. Round 1 of Autopolis this evening is off and away. Everyone steaming off the line. It's all looking very dishy in the midfield as one of the art carts is busy going across the circuit to try and get the inside line, but it looks as though Room has got it from Palm on the getaway. Indeed he has. Aniu is slotting in nicely in third. Everyone else going 2 by 2 through. There's a bit of jockeying between the TMO drivers, but they've all got through quite safely. Everyone pops out the other end. Surprisingly, all okay. Miles Dixon very slow off the line, but he's going now. Everyone else steaming through. Bucelis, they're losing out quite dramatically down to 7th position, so he's lost out quite a few positions as everyone else steaming through quite okay. But it's Renault Room leading the way from Palm and Eowys. Then the two Murus, Randu ahead of Renault still, with Stankiewicz up to 6, Boljarik into 7, so that's 2 positions gained already. Bracalo 8 and Bucelis down to 9, the real loser there for Intrepid Kart. Then Ebas just running wide, and that's going to allow Lucas Gabrielauskas through for Art Kart. But Ebas dices back through again and has that. And then Hans-Peter Mead sits in 12. Gabrielauskas is going through on Ebas again, and that's looking a wee bit wonky, and he's got caught up on the curb. That's going to push Hans-Peter Mead into a little bit of a drama as they all come spearing across the line. Someone was running out wide there. That was James Ross in the TTF car. But Renault Room leads the way. Palm in second, and it looks like Anuis is going to have to defend from one of the Murus, but his late brakes and he's got it in. Stankiewicz and Spoljaric bashing each other down into turn 1. Spoljaric gets through, runs out wide. What can Stankiewicz do? He's lighting up his lights, one of them, I think, to say go back through again, because that was a wee bit bash heavy. Spoljaric having another go late in the brakes, but there's nothing doing there as you run out wide through this elongated chicane. Then Bracalo and Bucelis are behind, then Ebas, Beaton Mead, Gabrielauskas down to 12 after all that drama. McLaughlin, Kirk, Ross, Robertson, Joseph, ooh, and that's Renault Brightest Rains trying to go around the outside of Paul Joseph and Cameron Brewster in the same suite. Not really worked. He's got around Brewster though, so that's up to 18. Kevin Buddy down to 20th, so he's been in dramas too. Everyone else still going quite nicely. Palm on Renault Room though up at front, having half a look down into the second last corner, trying to get the tightest exit that he can out of the chicane and get into the slipstream down the straight. So we'll see what's going on there. Stankiewicz and Spoljaric bashing each other into the final couple of corners too. Palm having a go at Room, but he pulls back inside, so that's not really works out well for him. Anuis is pulled clear of Randu Muro, and that's Spoljaric and Stankiewicz and Bracalo all at it down into turn 1. Spoljaric gets it for the time being, but these are a couple of real hot heads. It's like a collection of chilies. An inferno, a Bombay bad boy as it is if this was a pot noodle, and that's round goes Bracalo! Is he going to hit the wall? No, he does not. He keeps it back going again. Was he given a helping hand? I have a feeling he may well have done. Ilja rejoins in 14th position, just ahead of the skaggle that is James Ross, Ritus Rains and Dave Robertson as they come streaming out. So it's all still very much clumped together in little sections of cars. That's really unraveled that big battle between the TMO drivers. Unfortunately, real losing out there for poor old Bracalo. Not the first time it's happened to him. Wrong place, wrong time. Over the line then to start lap 4 of 15. Going oh so quickly, and it looks like there's some drama going on out of the final turn as people kind of semi-shuffling through. But the top lot all stream through quite nicely. And it looks as though we're going to look back to James Kirk and Bracalo, 13 and 14. Bracalo's going to dive through down into turn 1. And he's through. James Kirk gives up that one for the time being. He's now got his rear wing all full of James Ross and Ritus Rains. Rains very quick in practice. I think he's slightly out of position there in the Intrepid Kart car. But the field as a whole very much close together, as you can see Robertson and Buddy there running out very wide in 18th. He's got round Paul Joseph. Brewster now down to 20th. Fleming, Gardner and Dixon, the remaining drivers behind that. Spoljaric's got his lights on in 6th position. Not entirely sure why. He's got them off again now, so I don't know if he's feeling aggrieved by something or not. To just Buselis all over. Stankiewicz for 7 and 8. He's in half a little peak into the final curve. Stankiewicz not quite getting that one to plan. And that's Gebrselaskus in 12th position, getting it all wrong on the final curb. And that's lost him out. Bracalo now up to 12th position. It's all slowly coming back to him, isn't it? May have had a spin, but he's really not that far down the road. Just literally 4 seconds off the back of where he was in the battles before. So great recovery here by Bracalo, using the slipstream to effect down the big long straight. He's past Gebrselaskus. Next up for him, Lee McLaughlin, doing another fine outing for the Sixth Axis Racing Dice team. He's really descended to the top of that quartet for the time being. But Bracalo's making no mincemeat of him. Through he goes into 11th position. Dave Robertson and Kevin Buddy though. Buddy goes through, and he has Dave Robertson for the time being. Robertson once again top team core, man. He's doing quite nicely as the midfield really do chug on. Looking quite nice indeed. As who's that battling away? There's an Art Cartman, yeah, Kirk and Gebrselaskus. Gebrselaskus practically pushing. In fact, he is pushing James Kirk round. That bump drafting in the corner, never going to work. They're all going to meet their maker in the final couple of corners. Quite fancy Reigns to have a go. Oh, there we go. He does indeed. Steaming through into the final corner. That car looking a bit ragged, and he's off onto the curbs. Just about holds it all together. The second half of the field really providing some intense action here, and now it's Gebrselaskus having a go to get back past Reigns. He does so indeed. I don't know if Reigns is giving the position back because he felt that was unfair. He's popped right in behind. He's got to be careful though, because James Ross is going to have half a stab down into turn 1. He's through under braking, but can he hold it all together? No. Reigns goes round the outside. Great defensive driving there by Ritus on debut. Robertson and Joseph are off on the grass behind. Oh, and Fleming's in the barriers. There's bits flying off the car in 20th. Disaster there, and that was all kind of happening on its own, really. He collected the rear of Kevin Buddy. Buddy was just poking his rear out onto the track, and Stuart Fleming just drives into the side of it. So unfortunate, just the passing of glances. And Stuart Fleming, that is a puncture on the left rear, and Buddy down to last, and is now stuck behind the battling Paul Gardner and Miles Dixon over 20th and 21st positions, as Reino Room and Martin Palm is back up front batting for the lead. Palm having half a look actually down the straight. Reino Room veering across the track to try and get Palm out of the tow. Is Palm going to have a go down into turn 1? No, he's just taking a slight mini little peekaboo, but not quite yet on lap 7 of 15. And he is still third ahead of Randamuru, Rainamuru, Spoljaric. Has still got Stankiewicz and Buselis right on him. Abbas is 9. Peter Mead is 10. He's got Bracalo right behind him in 11. He's past Lee McLaughlin, who's down to 12. Gebrselaskus going round the outside of James Kirk. Takes 13th and 14th positions away. Reigns in now in 15. Ross 16, then Brewster is 17. Robertson right behind him in 18th, so Brewster's round there. Paul Joseph 19. Dixon's just got round Paul Gardner for 20th and 21st down at turn 1. Then Buddy 22nd. Fleming limping round in 23rd position. The man has had no luck these last couple of weeks as the leaders are going through. Will Fleming be able to stay out of the way, because he's going to get caught in some of the more awkward places? Palm having a look at Room down into turn 1. He's gone in a bit deep, so that's not going to work for him. As James Kirk and Reigns, is Kirk going to be pushed round? Oh, good save there by the captain. But Reigns is going to have half a go into the next corner. This is where he took Gebrselaskus last time and then got it all a bit wrong. Going around the outside there, such is the pressure. A lot of leaning going on between the two. Kirk very much wrong-footed. Wanted to make sure he got through on the black stuff. Unfortunately, there Reigns gets the better of him. Kirk now slightly off the accelerator into turn 1 as Fleming gets into the pits. I think he's spun in the pit lane. And Palm has taken the lead as well there for Reino Room as the field all pile down to turn 1. Ross versus Kirk. Oh, Ross and Kirk smash for 16th and 17th. James Ross completely lost it under braking for turn 1. Poor Kirk has nowhere to go. He has to turn in. And yeah, Ross just catching the inside curb there, and that's unfortunate there for the TTF driver who's done so well so far. Palm though into the lead. Where did that happen? I think it was down into one of the earlier turns. Yeah, down to turn 1 that happened. Palm going through on Renault Room, just slithering down the inside, and he's got him just for the time being. Room certainly not giving up just yet as they come out of the final turn, but Palm already taking a couple of tenths away as they cross the line. What are they on? 6 tenths of a second already. This is Palm really in damage control, because Spoljaric has got 1.4 seconds before he's on Renault Muru, and he's got more problems really with Stankiewicz. And look at Stuart Fleming coming out onto the track right in front of them all. He stays well out of the way, but Spoljaric and Stankiewicz go through. Buselis is unfortunately stuck behind Fleming as he rejoins on the track. Nothing you can do there. Bracalo's through on Hans-Peter Mead for 10 and 11 position. Good move down into turn 1. That will do nicely. And Hans-Peter Mead able to hold off McLaughlin as Miles Dixon, Kevin Buddy 19 and 20th. Paddy going round the outside of Miles Dixon into turn 1. Cookie Monster racing car worried about lag, so that's why he went off to a purposely slow start, I think. But Dixon having to go back through on Buddy. Right. Cookie Monster's on he's on Weight Watchers. He doesn't want to take a nibble down there, unfortunately. And Spoljaric and Stankiewicz side by side in 6th and 7th there for a split second. He's got to be careful there. The Time Motorsport Osiris driver has nothing really to lose, and Spoljaric has a championship too. As he runs out very wide, just about keeps it within the confines of the circuit, as they've all been aiming to do. This final chicane really has been highlighted as a problem, and they've all just about got through. And Eos and Muru just up ahead. That's as closest that Rando has been since the beginning of the race. Thomas and Eos for Art Kart doing a fine job in 3rd position. Stankiewicz is going through, and Spoljaric has got in a bit deep. Spoljaric retakes the position, but that is the first real Spoljaric once again flying his lights, and I don't know why. I think it's maybe he's just feeling that Stankiewicz shouldn't be getting involved in a championship battle or something. I'm not sure, but Spoljaric's car, heavy with weight, still doing a fine job in 6th position. As look at the way Buselis now is involved in that one. Maybe he's just feeling, do you know what, don't get involved in my battle. As 9, 10, 11, 12 of Bass, Bracalo, Mead and McLaughlin are all having a little mini scrap too. So plenty to choose from as we all get into the second or the third of the race. There's been a change of position now, and that is Bracalo going to be taken Ehab Abbas for 9th position round the outside. Fantastic move there. Abbas had nowhere to go, and that's worked out perfectly for him. Still Room and Palm separated by half a second. Aeneas has got half a second over Randu Muru. Renault all on his own. Spoljaric having a wee bit of a break and a breather there while Stankiewicz recovers from the attacking Buselis. And it's Bracalo 9, Abbas 10, Mead 11, McLaughlin 12, Gabriel Askus 13th, and Reigns in 14th, doing a good job on debut. Then James Kirk is 15th, minus front bumper. Robertson 16, Brewster now 17 ahead of Paul Joseph. That will have connotations as what's going on with Abbas. Abbas has been passed by Hans-Peter Mead for 10 and 11 down into the chicane. Good move there by Hans-Peter. So Robertson was 16, Brewster 17, Joseph 18, Buddy 19, Dixon 20th, Gardner 21st and Ross 22nd. Stuart Fleming 2 laps down in at 23rd position. The field are just completing lap 11 of 15. And Palm so good on the final sector. It's really making a difference because it drops Room out of the slipstream, so therefore he's not got much to do. Lorna Spoljaric might as well take up a career in sewing with all the weaving he's doing down the straight as he tries to shake off Stankiewicz's slipstreaming action. They just all meet so closely down into the final turn. Buselis very much involved in that too, ready to pick up the pieces. Hans-Peter Mead back in 10th position as the Lexis battle away. Abbas shimmied down to 11 for Union, exactly where he started if memory serves. And Paul Joseph has just got round Cameron Brewster for 17th and 18th position. Those two of course battling over the Division 2 title. Oh, and Paul Gardner's in the pits from 22nd position. And that's a bizarre one, because it's like he lags out for a little bit, and I think maybe he's hit the barrier and then had to come in for repairs. So unfortunate there, because he's having a good scrap with Miles Dixon. Spoljaric still unable to shake his teammate, or Titus. And Borna in very deep into that final turn, and that's going to allow Stankiewicz half a sniff as they come out onto the main straight, as he's trying to weave round the track to lose the slipstream once again. We'll soon see how effective that is down at turn 1. It's great to see the top 15 cars all pretty much still in the main straight. Very competitive this season, as Paul Gardner has retired from the race. And Kevin Buddy's just spun off in 21st position, braking on the grass. Never a good idea, must be said. Never mind. Onwards and upwards, eh? As Spoljaric continues to hold off Stankiewicz and Buselis. That's the closest battle going on track at the moment. Although, to be fair, Abbas has now got McLaughlin all over him too. As oh, actually, James Ross having a go in 20th position, and Miles Dixon down into the chicane. Dixon late braking, holds on round the outside. Good defensive driving from the cookie man. And Ross will have to think again in the battle for 19th position, just being slightly wrong-footed. Oh, and Buddy's crashed for good down in 21st position, and that's quite epic. What? I don't know what on earth happened there. He braked with full four wheels on the grass, so the barrier was only ever going to be his maker. So Kevin Buddy, very, very fast guy. As Stankiewicz has a go at Spoljaric. Yeah, Buddy, such a quick guy, so inconsistent with the driving. It's like he's constantly on his absolute limit, and that's the problem. As Muru has half a look at Aneus for third as well. Those two certainly aren't done. Oh, and Room having a go at Palm as well for the lead. So we're spoilt for choice between all of these various battles that are going on, as Dave Robertson and James Kirk have just collected each other. Oh, Kirk's lost a wheel. Game over for the captain. Oh, he's having a go at trying to get back going again. No one will... Oh, careful with Ross there. But that was... James Kirk outbraked himself down to turn 1. Robertson had half a go through, but neither of them wanted to brake particularly when they connected. So unfortunately there, Mr. Kirk, 3 wheels on my wagon, never going to work. Stankiewicz going for Spoljaric, and he's through! Down into the final turn for P6. That will do nicely for Stankiewicz. It has taken him a very long time to have a go. He's not weaving, unlike Spoljaric was doing so, and he's going to have a go back through. Look at Ranu Muru, he's having a go at Aneus for third down into turn 1 as well, and he's going to have that one. He's got in a bit deep though. Aneus takes the position back. Muru's on the grass, so that will result in that. Stankiewicz holds on from Spoljaric. Buselis is there too. What can Aneus do? Is he going to hold third position? Yes, he is. Randy Muru right onto the back there, as we're on the last lap now around this Autopolis circuit for what has been an absolutely stonking round 1. I can see a wheel still rolling across the track. I'm assuming that's Kirk's. As Palm clinging on from Room, Aneus hanging on from Muru, and now Stankiewicz has yoinked it from Spoljaric right in the dying moments. McLaughlin still battling Abbas too. Palm then into the final curve. He's gone in deep. That car's pendulum ring round. That car right on the limits of tyre adhesion, as across the line he comes. Martin Palm takes the first win of this evening by less than half a second from Reino Room for Team Estonia. Third just about goes to Thomas Aneus for a great last minute defending on Randu Muru, who had one last stab, couldn't quite make it. Brother Reinu comes home in a lonely 5th. Stankiewicz held on for 6th position, 3 tenths ahead of Borna Spoljaric, who beat Titus Buselis by 4 tenths. Ilja Bracalo ended up 9th in the end of all that, so just right behind the battle where he was spun out of. Hans-Peter Mead then 10th, Ehab Abbas 11th, Lee McLaughlin 12th for Six Axis Racing Dice. Writers Reigns on debut 13th, I think I'll be pretty pleased with that. Lucas Gabrielaskas 14th in the second of the Art Carts. Paul Joseph 15th, beating home Cameron Brewster for 16. That will do, and a right gaggle crossing the line there. Dave Robertson 17th, just ahead of James Ross and Miles Dixon, the three separated by 0.6 of a second, as Robertson, Ross and Dixon take 17, 18, 19. James Kirk confirming, well, he's got to get home actually, but he will be 1 lap down. They've not replaced the wheel, but he's still going round. Epic stuff there. Hans-Peter Mead wondering whether he would push him or not. 2 laps down, Stuart Fleming, 21st position. Then our retirements, Kevin Buddy in one of the most brain fade moves I've seen in a while for Williamson GP. All 4 wheels on the grass from braking. What were you thinking, man? And Paul Gardner, a bizarre one, pulled off into the pits, retired. And that was that. He didn't leave the game though, so I'm assuming he'll be back for round 2 of the evening. Wows. What an absolutely stonking opener for the evening. And we've still got a couple to go. I know you shouldn't be said, but you know when you see a really bad photo of one of your exes and you go, oh dear, look at the state of you. Oh, I feel so much better. Yeah, well that wasn't my decision, but I'm quite glad of the decision now. You know when you're thinking it's going to be my decision, but thankfully you've made it for me. And then afterwards you think, why have I still got you on Facebook? This is why I need to cleanse Facebook. Get rid of all my people that I don't particularly want to speak with anymore. The problem of social media. Great for some things. Absolute drama llamas for others. Anyway. Couldn't be more happier now if I tried. So, round 2. We have the grid being set for the exact stuff. Sorry, the exact finishing positions. Talking English, Simon. I was busy starting to cleanse my Facebook account. That was the problem. But yeah. There we go. Everyone debriefing themselves from the old crashing antics. Anyway. I do find that the same people keep meeting each other on the track, and they don't seem to like it very much. So we'll soon see what's going on there. As always, we are the Gentlemen's Racing Club, and you can come and sign up with us over at rfgrc.co.uk. Get yourself signed up. A little bit late really for the season 13, but you can always get the next couple of races in as good old eye-openers for the rest of the season. As they come along. What else have we got left? We've only got one more after this. We've got the season finale on the 6th of August next week at Manfield. Such is the sheer drama level that we've got going on for both of the championships. It really is. Problems to that. Paul Gardner saying he didn't get his fuel back after qualifying, so he had to pit. Strange. So all kinds of dramas. I'll be interested to see what Kevin Buddy has to say about his off. This could be where he reveals himself as narcoleptic. But no, get yourself over to rfgrc.co.uk, sign yourself up for the action. Any dramas that we do have out on track are treated fairly by the admin, who they look into everything individually. If we do have people that are regularly crashing for people for the sake of it, then you are banned. Simples as. Simples. So yeah, all good stuff. So the clock strikes 0.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
Just as a question actually that we've had beforehand, remember when you do join for rfgrc.co.uk, yes, sign up in the forums. Also don't forget to sign up on the league control, because you won't be able to allocate yourself in, and then once you've been approved, you'll be off and away, joining yourself up. Don't forget we've got the endurance races going on as well. I may well be partaking in one of those in August. It'll be the first sim race that I've actually done properly sim racing. About 18 months. Going to be hilarious. Martin Palm then leads us round on this formation lap for Toronto Motorsport Sim and Skins. Second is Reino Room for Team Estonia. Third will be Thomas and Ewis for Art Kart. Ahead of the TTFR duo, brothers in arms, Randu Muru ahead of Reinu. With Stanky Vicious 6th for Toronto Motorsport Cyrus. Borna Spoljaric then 7. Or Spoljaric 7. Toronto Motorsport Sim and Skins. I'm never quite sure which way to say that, so I just like to alternate. Viselis then 8. Intrepid Kart. Nice clean drive by him actually, something that was very much needed after his some wayward antics. So it's really calming down, good to see. Ilja Picalo 9, TMA Mobile. 10 Hans-Peter Mead for Online Motorsport. Silent Assassin 11, Ehab Bass for Union Motorsports. Top Union guy here tonight. Lee McLaughlin then 12th for TSA Dice. Righteous Reigns 13, Intrepid Kart. Art Kart 14th in Lucas Gabrielascus. 15 Paul Joseph for Union. 16 Cameron Brewster for TSA. 17 Team Core Robertson of the Dave variety. They really are slowing up. Someone's been off somewhere. Trying to work out who, what, when and why. James Ross 18, Miles Dixon 19, James Kirk 20, Stuart Fleming 21, Kevin Buddy 22 and Paul Gardner 23. Yeah, there were parts on the track there. Sorry, I paused just to see who was in trouble, and I think may have spoke too soon. Titus Bucelis, because he's weaving around trying to get himself into position. We think he may have lost some parts somewhere out there. So once again, the formation lap causing a wee bit of an issue for somebody. Just see one of the team cores just getting themselves back in line again. Here come the lights. Round 2 of the Autopolis. The penultimate round of GRC Season 13 is off and away. Everyone looking like they've got away not too badly this time. But once again, Reino Room has got the jump and Martin Palm. That is down to your weights. Ineos fancying half a lunge around the outside too. As they do come steaming down, what's everyone doing? Oh, Stankovic has smacked Spoljaric. Both are off onto the curbs. They've lost out to Bucelis Bracalo. Spoljaric rejoins in 8, Stankovic in 9. Everyone else has pretty much got round okay. James Kirk and Paul Gardner very slow towards the back there, but they've got going all relatively safely apart from that TMO sandwich that happened right up front. Everyone else appears to have got through okay. There's a lot of locking up though as Stankovic has a go at Spoljaric for 8 and 9. But nothing doing there. Gabrielauskas has moved up a few places to 11. And yeah, Bucelis missing his front bumper in P6. So he definitely was the man in trouble on the formation lap as Reino Room. Once again, wee bit of deja vu, leading the way from Martin Palm and Thomas Ineos. Locking up a wee bit into the final curve. And that's just stacked up Palm right onto the back of the Team Estonia driver. Thomas Ineos there losing out because he had to slightly brake before coming into the final curve as they're all tripping over each other slightly. People waving their lights, and look at Reino Room spear across the track to try and lose the slipstream. Age-old trick still works as they all come steaming through. And oh, Bracalo slightly tapped there by Spoljaric, I think. Not sure. Kevin Buddy gone round the outside of Miles Dixon for 16th and 17th position. Paul Joseph has just got round Dave Robertson, the 20th, who's now got teammate Stuart Fleming all over him. So the two team core drivers, are they going to meet each other? And James Kirk fancying getting a nose in two, 3 abreast into that corner's never going to work. And Stuart Fleming comes out of that one. Let's hope he actually survives a race, doesn't get smacked as the two team core drivers still side by side. Oh, as Gardner there taps Kirk in the background. And well, the two... Oh, and Kirk's round. Oh, he's been given a helping hand there by Gardner. Oh dear. It's all gone a wee bit topsy-turvy there for Kirk. I think you may have pressed the wrong warp drive there as it all gets back going again. Up front it is Room, Palm and Ineos, well clear of Randu Muru, who's still ahead of Reinu. And then it's all kicking off behind as Titus Bucelis, already with a damaged car, has got a right gaggle behind him. But the leaders are already fancying their nose through as well, because they're all trying to follow and shadow each other down the slipstreaming of turn 1. No changes there. What's going on behind that? Stankovic is having a go at Spoljaric down into 1, and he's through. Has he held it together? Yes, he has. Spoljaric kicks in behind. Abbas is round and facing the wrong way, and he's now 14th. He's going down the field. That was trying to have a go at Gabrielauskas, and that's all gone horribly wrong as Spoljaric does stay behind Stankovic, who's now all over the back of Bucelis. But yeah, what was that going on as James Ross gets round Paul Joseph. Lee McLaughlin is passed by Rachel Rains. And James Kirk in the pits. Bracalo is out by the looks of it. Yeah, he's parked and retired. Unfortunately, Bracalo has left the game. That looked like a lag out actually down into the next corner. So I don't know what's gone on there with him. So a disaster there for Bracalo after what was a promising start. Bucelis under attack though by Stankovic and Spoljaric for 6, 7 and 8. Nothing doing there as Gabrielauskas in 10th just nearly loses the car for Art Kart. Keeps it all together just about. Up front, what are we doing? Across the line, 3 tenths the gap between them. They're going to have some traffic soon as well because as James Ross has crashed out and retired from 21st position. So that's another one gone. They're all biting the dust now. Stankovic is through on Bucelis. He's gone in too deep, or has he? No, he's too deep, and is Spoljaric going to get through as well? Look at the way he's trying to forcibly push Spoljaric just as close to the edge of the track as possible, but he's through, and is Borna going to have a go at Bucelis as well? No, Bucelis has the line covered. Spoljaric goes out wide, and this is all about the championship battle. because while Palm battles for the lead up front, Spogliarich is trying to do damage limitation as much as possible while he's got the fat car going on. Gebrselaskus is all on his own. Then Rains, McLaughlin, Buddy, Brewster are all battling away with Dixon and Joseph just there too. So great little sections of cars all kind of filtering off into their own mini battles as the leading duo start to drop Thomas and Lewis. Although Palm having a bit of a dodgy run in the final turn, losing a little bit of the time that he'd gained as the field filter through. I'm interested to see what will be going on between Bucelis and Spogliarich, because Spogliarich is all over the back of him as they come out onto the final turn, and on the straight the lead three do their usual jinking around, and that seems to have stagnated that one for this turn one battle, although Palm was very close. Spogliarich takes a peekaboo out. He's got nothing giving though when he gets down there, and Stankiewicz is going to have half a go through. So tight on the line that he was, and that could well end up in tears down at the next turn. Is he going to pull out and have half a go? No, Spogliarich actually so late on the brakes into that corner. It's all over the back of Bucelis. No other change. Buddy got round McLaughlin for 12 and 13, so that's a change. Bass got going again in 20th position, and Bracalo was definitely a lag and disconnection. So unfortunate there for Ilja. No luck today. Palm stood all over the back of room for the lead, having his first real peak into the second last corner. Oh, Room, is he going round? Palm has nowhere to go, and look at that, they're all a bit skedaddled on the final turn. Has Palm got enough momentum to try and punish Renault for that? Because that was a lucky save into the final turn there for Renault Room. Is Palm going to pop out and have a go? He is, but there's nothing doing as he gets down into turn one, unfortunately. What's Spogliarich doing on Bucelis? Very much the same. They've not got the confidence breaking into one. As Room is off! Room, where has he gone? That was on the exit of one. Oh, he just caught the curb on the outside left rear wheel. Veers him across into the barrier, just about misses it. Palm, luckily taking the lead through just pure doggy determination. Room there, cracking under pressure is he for Team Estonia. Now he's got Thomas Ineos and Randu Muro on his tail. Technically he's been faster most of the time. Oh, what's that changing position? That's yeah, Rains and Buddy side by side, 11 and 12. And Buddy gets through on brightest Rains. Intrepid car, Lee McLaughlin having a go there too. But yes, Renault Room in trouble potentially as Ineos and Muro. Ineos having a bit of a lumbering exit out of the final turn, and I think Randu may well punish him for that one. Then to turn one, especially as he can't brake too late because he'll pile into the back of Renault. Here comes Randu. No! Thomas late on the brakes, gets it done, keeps it all together. Spogliarich has retaken Stankiewicz. Or has he? No, they're side by side, the pair of them. What's Stankiewicz going to do? And they've got Bucelis in trouble too. Is he going to try and have the pair of them? Is Stankiewicz? Yes, he is. Side by side with Titus. And he's pushed right out to the outside line. Stankiewicz, a stupendous move there to get round the pair of them in two corners. Dives through Spogliarich on the inside. Spogliarich is going through as well. Late on the brakes, basically leans on Bucelis and gets through in a position a wee bit cheeky. But it's effective and it's got him up to 7th. Now he's going to try and follow Stankiewicz and see what he can do. Bucelis down to 8th then in his damaged car on the warm-up lap. Peter Mead 9, Gebrselaskus is now in 10th, ahead of Buddy, Rains, McLaughlin, Brewster, Dixon, Joseph, Fleming, Robertson, Abbas, who's just passed Paul Gardner, and James Kirk still going in 21st position, and he's got the leaders not too far behind him, so he could well end up being lapped traffic towards the end of this race, and that could provide a whole host of entertainment. Well, he's been relatively on the pace, so they may not catch him too quickly, as the TMO drivers of Spogliarich and Stankiewicz having a good look. He's born up. He ain't got nothing to give there, unfortunately. Down into turn one. Who's that changing? That's Miles Dixon having a go. Oh, round goes Rains. Oh, 15th position. Oh, Joseph onto the grass to get round. He's trying to spin to get out of the way. Brightus, was he helped or did he go on his own accord? It looks like, oh yeah, he braked with his rear wheel on the grass. What is going on with people braking on the grass? Amazingly evasive action. Fantastic stuff by everyone behind to get round him. The intrepid kart driver rejoins in 19th position. Behind you have a Bass. And so he's got plenty of work to do as the debutant here this evening. Rookie mistakes. It's all a learning curve. Spoljaric having a go at Stankiewicz for 6 and 7. Out to gain from that one there. In fact, he's run out a little bit wide into the final turn, but he's got a good slingshot out of the final curve once again. Spoljaric very strong on that one, as is Aeneas having half a look at room, but actually it's an elongated camera angle. I thought he was closer than what he actually was. Spoljaric. Having half a look and practically pushing Andreas out of the turn. Get a wee bit feisty down into this next sequence of corners. Buselis now under attack from Hans-Peter Mead, who once again very, very quiet, but he's picking up the points as he has done all season very well. Gabriel Ascust running well in 10th. They're having a nice quiet afternoon as Paul Joseph has just got into the middle of a team core sandwich for 15, 16 and 17. So they are having a right little scrapperoo. Fleming, I may curse it, but he's doing alright so far. He's not been into the barriers and he's not been rammed by anyone, so this is going well. We'll soon see how long my curse holds off for that one. As they come around to complete lap 9 and start lap 10 of 15, so we're on to the final third. Actually the closest ones out there apart from the TMO guys, as Stankiewicz not having a go at Borna again. Or sorry, not having to defend too hard from Borna this time. I think Borna's quite fancying a lunge down to turn 3. He's practically all over the rear of the car, but it's not a great braking option down to this section, and this is the bit where Borna particularly excels. So it's not working for him. Oh, contact between the two. Obviously different lines and different driving abilities or driving needs and wants around here between each car. There's James Kirk has parked it, is that, from 21st position by the looks of it. I'm trying to have a little look, or has he gone off of his own accord? No, he's just pulled to a halt and he's still stuck there in 21st position. Now he's got back going again. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Maybe he needed a quick toilet break. Who knows? Dave Robertson having a go at Paul Joseph for 16 and 17. They've got Stuart Fleming ahead. Miles Dixon's leapfrogged a lot of them. Is in 14th position, doing well for Cookie Monster. He's eating it up out there. I'm wondering if actually as Rain Dumuru has a go at Thomas Aeneas for the first time this evening. I'm wondering if Kirk wanted to just let everyone through and then continue on behind, as he is a weary driver in the way that he feels that he's always a liability, which he isn't necessarily. Spoljaric is round Stankiewicz in 6th and 7th positions. Not sure where that happened. It happened on this lap, but he's through. And that could very well have connotations overall on the championship edge. Every point counts at the moment, and that includes highest climber, that includes pole position, which Palm did get. 12 of 15, 1.1 seconds then. Palm has over Reino Room, the most he's had all evening. There's Thomas Aeneas just a 4/10 clear of Randy Muru, slightly less comfortable, dare I say. TTFR driver just locking up slightly. Rainu Muru, despite being in a thick of loads of other battles, once again sitting pretty on his own in 5th position, picking up a good haul of points. Spoljaric still ahead of Stankiewicz for the time being, and Buselis has still got Hans-Peter Mead with him. Gebrselaskus has been caught by Kevin Buddy for Williamson GP. Kept it more on the black stuff this time. Lee McLaughlin doing well in 12, Cameron Brewster 13, Dixon 14, Fleming 15, Joseph 16 and Robertson 17. Abbas catching a lot of them in 18th. As is Ritus Frames, but at a slower rate in 19th. Gardner is 20th, then a lap down in 21st is James Kirk, our last runner. And Kevin Buddy about to size up Lucas for 10th position. He's going to try and go around the outside. Yes, he is. Can he make it do? I think Gebrselaskus is going to run him out wide. Indeed he does. Buddy has to kick back in again and have a second stab under the downforce slipstream that he's got. Hence Peter Mead having a little look. Biselis just up ahead, but there's nothing going on. And as they reach turn 1, and actually Buddy having half a peak, but not really a committed stab up the inside there for the Williamson GP driver. His fastest lap of 1:14.976. Gebrselaskus. Sorry, that is Gebrselaskus at 1:14.976. Kevin Buddy 1:14.984. So actually, even Stevens on the old pace. So let's see what happens. Rainder and Muru still all over. Thomas and Ewis as well for 3rd and 4th positions. But the clock is ticking, as it is for Hans-Peter Mead on Titus Biselis as well. Spoljaric has a small advantage over Stankiewicz. As Buddy having a go at Gebrselaskus once again. Oh, and a Bass on Robertson. How does he have a Bass managed to get round both team core drivers? Something's happened. Oh, it's Stuart Fleming. He's lost loads of positions. He's going to go back and see what's happened because... Oh, he's lost it. Stuart Fleming lost it all on his own. Poor guy. No luck at all. He'd already lost the position to Paul Joseph, then decided to have a very fast 180 around the long left-hander, and that's really left him right down in 19th position behind Rains. Robertson and Abbas. Abbas now 16. He'll be loving that. As the field quite politely spread themselves out now, so working quite nicely for everyone. It's going to be down to basically Hans-Peter Mead versus Titus Biselis for 8th and 9th. They're the closest battle out on track, along with our battle for 3rd between Aneus and Muru as we enter the last lap. 2.1 seconds now Palm has over Room. He's really opened that out over the last couple of laps and asserted his dominance around this Autopolis circuit. If he can make this 2 wins out of 2, he has gone some way to repairing the damage that was given to his championship mount last time out. Lewis quite comfy in 3rd at the moment. There's not much left to do. Oh, Stankiewicz side by side with Spoljaric for 6th and 7. Spoljaric goes in deep. Can Stankiewicz hold on anything around the outside? No. Warner keeps the racing line. Stankiewicz is holding it in. Can he do anything down the next corner? He's going to force Spoljaric right the way out wide. Stankiewicz diving through to take 6th position, and he's got him for the time being. That will do quite nicely for the Osiris driver. Spoljaric then down to 7. He's going to try and claw it back, but Martin Palm is entering the last corner once again, looking like he's going to spin it for Torrent Motorsport Simmons Skins. The constructor may well have wet all over the rest of the competition and be taking everything, but Martin Palm is doing everything that he can do to keep his championship hopes alive and takes his 2nd win this evening out of 2. It's all kicking off behind. Room 2nd then. Randu Muru grabs 3rd on the last lap from Thomas Aneus. Drama there. And there's a problem in the background. Who's that? That's Lucas Gebrselaskus spinning round. I think that was something that was kicking off earlier too. So Reinu Muru then 5th. Stankiewicz grabbed 6th from Spoljaric in the last lap. Biselis grabbed 7 ahead of Hans-Peter Mead. Kevin Buddy ends up 10th due to Gebrselaskus going off in the last corner, and that was a collision between Buddy and Gebrselaskus. Buddy goes round the outside doing his normal move. Gebrselaskus then half spins trying to keep Buddy behind him or alongside him. Unfortunately, that walks out that he drops to 11, Buddy keeps 10. Cameron Brewster takes Lee McLaughlin on the last lap to get 12th and 13th. Dixon 14th, good effort. Paul Joseph 15, Abbas 16, Robertson 17, Rightus Reigns 18. Stuart Fleming, well, he was unlapped, but he still had a spin. It's on the up, 19. Gardner 20th, James Kirk 21st, a lap down. Then our retirements were James Ross with a crash, and Ilja Picalo, disconnection, after what had already been a troubled start to his race. Some people just born with no luck, aren't they? It does seem that way. So there we go. All down then to the final race this evening. I'm not entirely sure what this will do to us championship wise. I'm just going to try and have a half attempt at trying to work it out vaguely. Very vaguely. It's late, I'm blonde, I'm from Essex, it's never going to work. So a win gives you 30 points, what's that, 7th gives you 14. So Palmer's already taken out a good 30 points, plus he got pole. Palmer, I think, now leads the championship going into the final round of this evening so far. Of course, we've got the magic number of fear, where we reverse the top current places on the grid between 5 and 10 once random number generator sorts itself out. I'm sure it will. Oh, I just realised actually you can not necessarily unfriend people, but you can change how much they appear on your news feed. Oh, I'm loving this. I should really bother with doing Facebook properly more often. Now only important updates show up, so when they die... Oh no! Fantastic! Oh, perfecto. So, the magic number 9. Oh. So Martin Palm will end up starting 9th. Our Team Estonia driver. Reinu Room will be 8th. Borna Spoljaric then will start 3rd. Hans-Peter Mead will be pleased with that. A nice little pole position for him. That'll do nicely. Very nicely indeed. So quite often in this third and final round we get a surprise winner thrown up, and normally with some of the people a little bit wrong-footed from where they normally are seen on the grid. They struggle sometimes to get themselves back up the order again. And I do like this format because it does test out their kind of midfield prowess, because it's all very well being able to lead from the front all the time, but sometimes you don't have the privilege of being there. You need to be able to sort yourself out a little bit. So yeah, that'll do nicely. Not sure if I advocate a reverse of the whole grid. I could see that being real drama and a wee bit of carnage going on. Not a wee bit either, to be fair. There we go.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
And still everyone rages on about who hit who. Anyway. So for the final time of asking this evening, see what's going on as the grid get themselves underway for their formation lap. Hans-Peter Mead then definitely on pole position for onlinemotorsport.com. Nice to see a Lexus leading the field round. Second for Titus Baselis for Intrepid Kart Technology. Third, Borna Spoljaric, Simmons Gins, TMO. With the Andreas Vicious TMO Osiris car. Fifth for TTFR Motorsports, Reinu Muru. Sixth for Thomas Anius for Art Kart. 7 Randu Muru, TTFR Motorsports. Those two have been inseparable. Reinu Rum, Team Estonia in 8th position. 9th for Martin Palm. What can you do from there? Williamson GP's Kevin Buddy in 10th. Oh, Palm, has he just spun? Oh no, he got back going again. It looked like he was spinning on his formation lap. Gabriel Askerson in 11 for Art Kart, ahead of the TSA guys. You've got Kevin Brewster in 11 and William McLaughlin in 12. Cookie Monster Racing's Michael Dixon in 14th. Paul Joseph 15 for Union, ahead of his team or sister teammate Ihaba Bass for Union Motorsport Inc. in 16. Then Dave Robertson in 17, Team Core. Writers Reigns, Intrepid Car 18. Stuart Fleming 19 in the second of the Team Cores. 20th Paul Gardner, top 20. Oh, careful. Hitting each other on a formation lap, bad idea. James Kirk 21st. James Ross 22nd for TTF. And Ilge Bracalo has rejoined in 23rd after his unfortunate end. So the field getting themselves sorted out. Let's see what's going to happen for the final time of asking this evening. We're off and away for 15 laps of action around Autopolis, and it's looking very much 2x2 up front. As who's that popping out? That's Spoljaric. I haven't seen half a lunge down. Hans-Peter Mead not quite away as well as Titus Baselis. Baselis takes the lead for Hans-Peter Mead, going in very, very deep into one. Look at Stanky Vicious having a go as well. Round goes someone. That's one of the Estonias, isn't it? It's Reino Rum is off, as is James Ross, as is someone else as well. It's Spoljaric there in trouble. Stanky Vicious and Spoljaric smash into each other. Oh my goodness me! Is this the end of the championship for Borna Spoljaric? As he's trying to get back out of the gravel, that all went horribly wrong so early on. Stankiewicz as a puncher, but Spoljaric and Stankiewicz clouted each other in the straight. It was Stankiewicz really, and Buselis I think it was, that may have instigated it. Yeah, Buselis hits the back of Stankiewicz, who in turn smacks Spoljaric off into the barrier, smacks Stankiewicz, only to collect, oh my goodness me, with Spoljaric. Spoljaric away again in 22nd position, immediately onto Room and Ross, as Brewster's in trouble, and Gardner as well, I think they're all going 3 and 4 wide into the final chicane. That's never going to work. Oh, Gardner off into the barriers. I think that's him out. Stankiewicz has retired. Gardner's got a puncture, I think. But Hans-Peter Mead then leads the way. Buselis second, Reino Muru third, Aneos 4, Randy Muru 5, Kevin Buddy 6, Palm then 7, Abbas 8, Gabriel Askus 9, Dixon 10, Brewster 11, McLaughlin, Joseph, Fleming. Someone's in trouble. That's it's Gabriel Askus. No, it's Palm versus Buddy, and Palm having a go at Kevin Buddy. Buddy runs out onto the grass. Don't do the same to all the championship rivals, as Abbas goes off the track and somehow there recovers and gets round Miles Dixon. Dixon there off trying to get a top 10 position. He's going to lose it now to Cameron Brewster as they're all battling through. Real drama going on up and down the field. James Kirk stuck on the curb in 20th position. He's got back going again. This is all playing into the hands potentially of Spoljaric, who's going in 22nd position. So Spoljaric has been in trouble again somewhere along the line. He's been off the track. So yeah, dramas going on for him, but he's passed James Ross and up into 19th. Stuart Fleming is round in 15th position. Oh dear, when will the guy get some luck? I feel so sorry for you, dude. Yeah, he does. He reminds me of Mark Wicks from GPVWC. If there is something going to go wrong, you know it will happen to him, as Miles Dixon retakes Cameron Brewster for 10th position. Great stuff between these two drivers. McLaughlin passed Joseph for 12 and 13. Borna Spoljaric then up into 17th position, as Lucas Gabrielaskis is repassed by Kevin Buddy for 7th position. Quite how he got behind him, I don't know. But Martin Palm then 6th position. It's another one off his list, and this is working out perfectly for the American as they come flying round the middle of the track. So just the one retirement then after all. That's Stankiewicz. Riccardo is last. As yeah, Borna Spoljaric stuck behind Reino Room. The two of them are going to have to try and get up the order. Room lost it at turn 1. Spoljaric and Stankiewicz came together down at turn 3. They've got Dave Robertson just up ahead in the Team Core drivers. They're 10 seconds off the leaders. Amazingly, they've not dropped massively off the leader's pace. They're just 10 seconds off the leader. So the beauty of this kind of reverse grid is that actually, because the fastest guys aren't necessarily out front, they're not pulling away. As Aneos goes past Muru for 3rd down into turn 1. Good move by Thomas, not the cleanest, as Muru runs off onto the gravel ever so slightly. He's going to try and hold on round the outside, and Aneos pushes him off. He's got 2 wheels on the grass. This is what Kevin Buddy done, and it all went horribly wrong for him. Muru going round the outside. That'll be stupendous if he holds that. Unfortunately does not. Aneos then stays 3rd. Randy Muru now onto the back, and look at Palm. Now in 6th position there. Buddy's got Gabrielaskis and Abbas with him. Then Brewster's got Dixon, McLaughlin, Joseph, Rains, Room, Spoljaric, who have both got round Dave Robertson. Spoljaric now up to 16 as the field filter on through. Gardner did get going again. He's now battling with Kirk and Bacalo, so they're all still going apart from Stankiewicz. And Aneos runs out very wide in turn 18 for the final one onto the pit straight. So Peter Mead and Titus Buselis leading the way, half a second between them as they venture down to turn 1. Then there's a gap back to Thomas Aneos, who's got round the Muru of Reino, and that looks like Kevin Buddy having a go once again to have to defend from Lucas Gabrielaskis. That's worked out well. Miles Dixon retakes Brewster for 10th. Brewster just takes the old switcheroo back through and retakes the position. That will do quite nicely, as still Gebrselaskus and Buddy 7th and 8th, and Gebrselaskus runs Buddy right the way out to the contact between the two. Buddy keeps the position for the time being. There's a lot of smoke up ahead. Who's that from? Oh, it's from Palm, who's got round Reino Muro, and Gebrselaskus is off. He's got back going again, but he's lost out positions to various people. Reino Muro is out. He has retired. He's lagged out. Yeah, Reino Muro is lagged out for TTFR. So Palm then up to 5th position. Spoljaric now up to 14th. As Reino Rum has a go at Paul Joseph and takes him for 12th. And the good thing, oh, look at Spoljaric, he's going to try and have the pair of them. He hits Reino Rum as they come out from the final turn. He's going to have to be very careful as Rum just does a quick smack back. He's onto the grass. Spoljaric flashing his lights as if to say, oi, but unfortunately that's a tit for tat, my friend. As up front, we've got Ehab Abbas and Kevin Buddy for 7th and 8th positions side by side. Buddy keeps 6th for the time being. Abbas 7, Gebrselaskus, then Brewster, Miles, McLaughlin, Rum, Spoljaric and Joseph. There's up front, the leading duo of Hans-Peter Mead and Titus Bucelis still got Alexis out front, good to see. Have now been caught by Aeneas, Randu Muru and Martin Palm. So that's now a 5-way train for the lead. Buddy and Abbas on their own. Then Gebrselaskus leading the rest of the field round, and Lee McLaughlin's just been smacked by Reino Rum for 11th and 12th position as Spoljaric tries to get through, and McLaughlin there all over the place trying to get his car back going again, but Rum quite rudely smacking him. McLaughlin there being bullied out of the way by Spoljaric. Down to 13 goes Lee, the TSA Dice team, and he's got to defend from Paul Joseph. Next up for these two to try and get through will be Miles Dixon for Cookie Monster Racing, running in an excellent 10th position, and that will do quite nicely. Side by side for the lead though, Hans-Peter Mead, Titus Bucelis, across the line they go, less than a 10th between them. Is Titus going to go for it and go for a nip tuck down into turn 1? So close it is. Titus goes through. Oh, he's made a right tit of that. Round he goes. Just about keeps it out of the way from everyone else, but there was contact between the two. Unfortunately, this is one of the very few places where you don't want a tit rubbing up against you, as Paul Joseph takes McLaughlin for 13th position. Randy Muru passed, he's repassed Thomas Aeneas for 2nd and 3rd position. Palm now up into 4th. They're all falling by the wayside. This is helping out Martin Palm massively as he does a little bit of a wobble around the middle sector. Abbas and Buddy still going at it. Brewster's caught Gebrselaskus and having a go. Reino Rum then up into 10th. He's round Miles Dixon. Spoljaric passing with 2 wheels over the white line. Interesting racing prowess from our leading lot as they try and bully their way up through the field. You can really see where other people seem to feel that the lines end and some people just go slightly beyond it. And that's why they are up front as McLaughlin and Joseph side by side. McLaughlin retakes 13th from Joseph, but that's way too deep. Joseph retakes the position for the time being. What else is going on? Aeneas versus Muru, for 3rd. And Hans-Peter Mead having a go. But he's not quite got it there. Aeneas there makes it wrong and he hits Palm, and Aeneas is round. The art kart driver Bucelis there retakes 4th position. And Abbas is off in 7th. He tried to have a go at Kevin Buddy. Round he goes. These are all positions that are helping Spoljaric get back up the field. He's now up into 10th place as he's got around the Cookie Monster racing car. Rum has passed Brewster for 8th and 9th positions. Cameron Brewster now for TSA has got Spoljaric behind him. And Spoljaric will want that 9th position quite happily. But he's running a bit deep there, as is thankfully for him Dixon. As Peter Mead and Randy Muro still not sorted out their battle for the lead so far. And Brewster still holding off Spoljaric for the time being. Still only 10 seconds off the lead, amazingly. After all that, but Reino Muro, yep, definitely has retired. Rightus Reigns has crashed out as well. We missed that one, as there is so much action going on track as Brewster tries to hold off Spoljaric. Spoljaric having to go in deep, and Brewster doing very well to hold him off for the entire lap there. Around the outside, you can see Rum is all on Gebrselaskus up front. Muru having a look at Hans-Peter Mead for the lead, but he's too far back to make it effective. Hans-Peter Mead still holds on for the Lexus. Then Palm has got round Bucelis there in 3rd position with Aeneas there. Then Buddy, Gebrselaskus and Rum. Gebrselaskus closes the door And does Brewster? No, Boleric is through. Boleric takes 9th position from Cameron Brewster. Miles Dixon there still in 11th. And Joseph back ahead of McLaughlin. James Ross is now ahead of Dave Robertson for 15th. And that's Bracalo and James Kirk side by side for 17th and 18th. And Kirk holds the position from Bracalo for the time being. They've got Paul Gardner and Ehab Abbas right with them too. Oh, Reino Room in the barriers! That was against Gebrielaskus. Bizarre one. It's just like he caught the edge of the car, veered off into the barriers, lost his bodywork. Spoljaric up to 8th. All helpful stuff for the Eastern European driver as the TMO Simmons Skins take everything down to the wire again. So, yeah, Randy Muru then onto the back of Hans-Peter Mead. This time he's taking a peekaboo. Pulls back in again. Doesn't feel quite good enough to have a go. Palm, Buselis, Aneus, Buddy, Gebrielaskus, Spoljaric, Dixon ahead of Brewster. That's a swap. Joseph McLaughlin, Room. That car looking very beaten. Apparently there was contact between the two. I couldn't see it from my camera angle. And there's problems at the back there. That's James Ross into the pits from 20th with a damaged car, and Ehab Abbas having a go at Stuart Fleming. Through he goes. Fleming's having a re-go back through again. Contact between the two. Not working out well. And give a little bit of a hats off there to Paul Gardner. He's still been there with battling with cars, and he's got Ilja Bracalo still behind him. So not doing badly there in a Lexus sandwich there, Paul Gardner. Often our last place man in the Independence team, giving it good this evening. So who's that off the track? It's Spoljaric off the track in 8th position as he tries to find a way round Lucas Gebrielaskus. Nothing doing there as the leaders cross the line. 2 tenths between Hans-Peter Mead and Randy Muro as a start of lap 11. James Ross has just rejoined the pits, none too far ahead of them. Depending on how he feels, he may be lapped traffic. Muro this time is going for it. Hans-Peter Mead holding it all together up front. He is desperate for that win. Gebrielaskus still holding off Spoljaric for 7th and 8th. That's a change. Paul Joseph going past Cameron Brewster. This is all for Division 2 honours. Brewster trying to hold on round the outside. They're going to go side by side. And they've also got Lee McLaughlin. That's going to be free abreast into the corner. That's never going to work. Joseph holds on for the time being. Brewster slots in behind. Brewster needs to make an indent if he wants to have a go at the Division 2 title, because we've only got 1 round of triple races left to go as Spoljaric has a go and gets round Gebrielaskus, who's gone off. And that was Gebrielaskus versus Borna Spoljaric. He's gone into the back and he's lost a wheel! He's lost a wheel! Borna Spoljaric is out! Potentially of this race, because they won't replace that. And look at Gebrielaskus in trouble as well. As a replay, just looking back, oh my goodness me, that one happened. Basically, Gebrielaskus losing it. I think there may have been contact, but Gebrielaskus losing it on the curb, then spears across the track, hits poor old Miles Dixon, who was involved in that a little bit as well. But yes, Spoljaric losing a wheel. Oh my goodness me. Who would have thought it? It would come down to crashing. Gebrielaskus with lights on, veering back to the pits as Gardner and Bracalo go through. Where is Spoljaric? He's in the pits. There's still points to be had. Do not give up, but this is really throwing everything round into a completely different light as this championship now suddenly swaying from one driver to the other, from the TMO Simmons Skins, now suddenly falls full swing into the hands of Martin Palm, who's now back with Randy Muru and Hans-Peter Mead in the battle for the lead. What can the American driver do? He's on for a podium at the moment. Do you risk all and go for some more points, or do you play the safety bet for the time being? Spoljaric rejoining in 18th position. That wheel has not been added on. I'm not sure what he'll do. He's rejoining just in front of all the leaders as well. Gebrielaskus retires his Art Kart car. Spoljaric is going round. He wants the points. But what can he do? Because he's going to be lapped a few times, which is fine, but he's just got to make sure he stays out of the way from this leading gaggle as Randy Muru has a go again at Hans-Peter Mead. Hans-Peter Mead so late on the brakes as they come down into the last couple of corners. The opening couple of corners of the lap. Lap 13 we're on, of 15. They've got James Ross up ahead, who is traffic. They're going to catch Spoljaric in the next couple of corners as well, who's limping round. Palm joins in. Buselis and Anuis none too far behind. My goodness me, so close between this lot. What has... Yes, Spoljaric actually not doing too badly. They're going to catch him very shortly. If anyone's done well driving with only 3 wheels, it is certainly him. But this lead trio... Oh, James Ross drives off the circuit to get around Spoljaric. It's all kicking off. Ross keeping well clear of the leaders as they go round. Good driving, but automatically, look at Hans-Peter Mead. He knows that the slipstream is going to be the most effective way to get round. He's trying to push right to the outside to keep through. Randy Muru just 1/10.5 behind. This is one of the closest he's been so far. What will he do down into turn 1? Is he going to take a lunge for it? Yes, he is, but Hans-Peter Mead outbrakes him and keeps going round the outside. 2 laps to go. Palm sitting pretty in third, just 5/10 off our leader. Half a second covering the whole podium. Buselis and Lewis still within a breadth of causing problems behind as the leaders filter through. Spoljaric back in the pits again, hoping to get that wheel changed. I don't think it's going to happen. You have to line up perfectly with your box. I'm not even sure if this mod allows a wheel replacement as they come filtering around again. And Spoljaric leaves the game. He's out. That could well be championship very much ruined there. As who's that in trouble? Oh, it's Stuart Fleming getting past Ilja Bracalo for 15 and 16. James Kirk passing Ehab Abbas for 13 and 14 as well. So it's still all going off behind. But Hans-Peter Mead having to go very defensive into the final turn. 3 very different lines into the final 2 corners. And Buselis joins onto the back for what is now the last lap of the race. Here they come. It would be lovely to see a Lexus take a victory. And for online motorsport they've done so well. But what can Muru do? This is the last chance he's got down into turn 1. Hans-Peter Mead clinging on for dear life. And Palm nudging Muru out of the way. Can he take second position on the last lap? Muru's been shuffled. That overtaking opportunity has gone horribly wrong, and Palm slides through into second position. Muru slips down to third. Palm taking a great opportunistic move there to move up into what is now second position on the podium. And even more points between himself and Borna Spoljaric as they slinky on through. What are they going to do next? Someone was off in the background there. Yeah, it was Thomas Anuis has gone off. He stays in 5th position. He's well clear of Buddy, so that works out okay. If there's going to have a spin and not lose a position, you might as well do it now. What's Palm going to do? He's got one move to have a go for the last corner. Hans-Peter Mead takes the inside line. Is he stopped in time? No, he's not! Hans-Peter Mead! Oh, he's lost his bumper! And down from first to third after what was such a fantastic result for him. And he's lost a wheel as well. He's not even going to get third. He drops down to fourth party. Palm takes the victory. And with it, increases his championship chances as he takes a triple, the first person to do it this season. My goodness me, Martin Palm, where did you pull that one from, my friend? Randy Muru, second position. Titus Buselis, third for Intrepid Car. Great podium for him. Hans-Peter Mead, what a shame for Lexus. It does show you do everything, and one corner, one mistake, it all goes horribly wrong. Thomas Anuis, 5th position for Art Car after a last lap drama for him. Kevin Buddy, 6th position. Paul Joseph, 7th. Paul Joseph, 7th? My goodness me, what an absolute fantastic. Cameron Brewster, superb 8th position. Reno Room, a good recovery to 9. Lee McLaughlin, a top 10. Dave Robertson in 11th for Team Core. Miles Dixon, 12th. Cookie Monster Racing. Ilja Bracalo, 13th. In the end, after all that. Stuart Fleming, 14th. Paul Gardner, 15th. Paul Gardner, 15th. My goodness me. 16, Ehab Abbas. I think there's drama going on because there's a lot of drama going on in the chat room because James Kirk retired on the last lap, 17th position. James Ross, 18th a lap down after his problems. And then the retirements. Andreas Stankiewicz, Rightus Reigns, Reinu Muru, Gebri Lucas Gebrielaskas, and the absolute shock. Borna Spoljaric out after a absolutely nutty round 3 there. And it would be a shame if the championship does get decided by all of this. But unfortunately, sometimes this is racing, and these unfortunate fluke accidents do indeed happen. Whew. Nearly lost my voice. So, Nutalicious. That will now mean that the championship very much goes through to the final. But Martin Palm, advantage very much in his court. The final round, of course, is now at Manfield next Monday. Same time, 8 o'clock UK time. It is going to be an absolutely stonking conclusion to the season 13. Borna Spoljaric, Martin Palm. Who are you going to bet on? Thank you very much for watching. Thanks to Simon Melhuish on cameras and the admin Sava, who's provided us, as always, throughout this entire season, a fantastic backdrop for us all to race upon. It's SimRace TV for letting us do the coverage here. My name's Simon Smith. You lot all take care of yourselves. And I demand you back here next Monday for the final, because it's going to be an absolute bloody corker, I tell you. Take care. Doodle pip for now.